Oh, look at all that mess. Goeiemorgen mense. Alright, so yesterday was Freedom Day in sunny South Africa, so happy Freedom Day to all my fellow South Africans. So you can clearly tell the effects of autumn are in full swing, and that my kids were having a lekker jol on the lawn. But yesterday when I was busy playing with them, I picked up something interesting up there, a little bit of a yellowish brown discoloration, just in a small patch. So I decided to investigate a little bit further. So let's discuss what you should be doing when you find or discover a little random brownish, yellowish, dead, dying looking patch happening in your lawn. So the first and most important point to take note of is that you should be mowing, watering and fertilizing, i.e. maintaining your lawn properly in the first place. No leaving junk out lying around all over the place, so that if a problem occurs, you can pick up on it quickly and you have less things to try and figure out when you're trying to deduce what that problem might be. Now the next thing to take note of is any discoloration. Remember, a grass blade, it's a perfect thing by nature. If it's healthy, it looks good. If it's not healthy, it will show you in some form of discoloration. Now assuming you've done your lawn maintenance properly, i.e. mow, water, fertilize, other cultural practices, your lawn should look good. If it's not, it's probably sick, just like your dog. Your dog is happy until it's sick, and it will let you know when it is. Alright, so here's my little problem area, and to practice what I preach, I first need to say, okay, yes, I have maintained my lawn, so it's not chlorosis, it's not weeds, or it shouldn't be weeds. So the only two things that it could be is insects and disease. So yesterday, I did what you should do first, and that is to conduct a good old-fashioned soap test. I've already done a video on that, so I'll link it in the description. You can go back and watch it. But once you've done the soap test, you'll be able to identify if you have a pest issue or perhaps something else. The soap test never pulled up any insects that should have been an issue. There was one little beetle that could be resulting in a grub issue down here, but I don't think that it's that based on the rest of my findings. The first thing that I noticed is that the blade of the grass looked a little bit miff, a bit yellowish, ugly discoloration, really sort of like this. This is one of the fresher ones that I pulled out today, and it doesn't seem to be something continuing it. It sort of just started and then stopped. So all of this dead stuff that you see on the surface is me just pulling out the problem areas. Let's try and find another one. There it is there. You see how it just comes out. It's not everything in the area, but it is little pieces every now and then. That is an indication of a disease and not insects. That being said, grubs can cause similar damage to this, but in a more sort of consistent, broad area. So when they eat through the patch, you see a much more solid level of destruction. This was an area, but instead of a solid destruction, it's little drips and drabs all over the place. Like here's a perfect example right here, little drips and drabs. And if I pull on it, there it comes out. That is a turf grass disease, and what leads me to think that is basically because we know that we've gone through the process of elimination. We've ruled out maintenance, we've ruled out something physical, we've ruled out insects, and we left with only one thing, and that is a turf grass disease. So what turf grass disease is it? Well, like with identifying any type of turf grass disease, you're going to need to firstly know what turf grass you have. The time of the year needs to be taken into consideration, average daytime and nighttime temperatures, general humidity or average humidity at the very least, how the area looks at a distance, how it looks up close when you pull the plant out of the ground entirely, how does the leaf look, how do the roots look, are there spots on the leaf, is there any white stuff on the roots, any black stuff on the roots, do the leaves have black spots, brown spots, striations, any white fluffy looking stuff on it, any gooey stuff on it, mycelium. A whole number of different things can give you a very good idea just by googling what type of turf grass disease you have, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. Now I say this doesn't have to be complicated because it really doesn't, but I say that more so for the beginners. If you're a professional and you're watching the channel, please take this with a pinch of salt. You know where I'm going with it, and that is that you almost don't need to worry about exactly what type of turf grass disease you have. It does help you to know exactly so that you can determine exactly the course of action. But to control most turf grass diseases, you only need 2 active ingredients. The combination of those 2 at least is very important and will help you with a lot. And that is azoxystrobin and propiconazole. The combination of those 2 active ingredients will help you control depending on the severity of the infection, just about any turf grass disease out there. Now, if you know that you've got a severe issue, it is best to get a hold of a turf grass professional. At the very least, pop me an email, backyardbushveld.co.za. You'll find my email address there, and you can ask me what you think. I can put you in contact with people that might know more than me if it's a severe circumstance. Otherwise, I'll pretty much be able to help you out. Or you can talk to any other turf grass professional that you know. Don't let little things get massive because you're lazy. So I was just busy editing this video and I realized I never told you what turf grass disease I have back here, and that's none other than large patch, which comes from the fungal pathogen called Rhizoctonia solani, and I basically gave it a chance. I'm going to control it using azoxystrobin and propiconazole if I feel that it gets out of hand, but effectively, and with most turf grass diseases, the pathogens are kind of always there. Only if your grass allows the infection to tackle it, then it becomes a thing that you see on the surface, and that's then a problem for you. So the idea is proper maintenance. I bug it up by applying nitrogen, just a little bit too much nitrogen too late in the season, and I started to raise my height of cut too early, and that induced a little bit more thatch and a bit more of a smothering effect, which obviously weakened the turf just a bit just now over these last couple of weeks, and the extra bit of nitrogen was trying to force the turf to grow. So the majority of the area hasn't seen infection because I put down the Terra Plus Natura K, so the potassium is working in that fashion. But maybe this one little area here was just under those perfect circumstances that the infection was able to take. Anyway, back to the rest of the video. So now you know you've got to put down a chemical to sort out a turf grass disease problem. But sometimes just a little bit of manual intervention can help quite a lot. One way, get out your trusty garden fork, poke some holes in the ground, like this, in the ground, give it a bit of a pull back, go forward 15 to 20 centimeters, in the ground again, and another little pull back. You do that over the entire area. And you pull out another trusty garden tool, your rake, or if you've got a proper scarifying rake you can use that too, and get in there. And of course, don't let that thatch sit there now. Dead or living matter, it will still spread the disease. You get out your rotary mower and you suck all of that up. And as a last top tip, it's a good idea to just use your rotary mower until you can see your grass starting to heal. Using the cylinder mower is going to put it under a little bit more sort of mechanical traffic-like pressure than what's necessary. If you've got a rotary mower, pull that out, or even a little manual push-type cylinder mower, it's going to be a better idea using that. I prefer the idea of the rotary because the vacuum is going to pull up some of the other matter that might just be lying around versus cylinder mowers. They're not going to be able to get up some of the matter that might be loose in there that could be sucked up by the rotary's vacuum. Alright, that's it. Please remember to like, subscribe, share this with your buddies. Keep in mind, this is meant to just be the tip of the iceberg. Turf grass diseases are really, really complicated, but you don't have to make them complicated. If you just stick to the basics like what I've shown you now, you can have really successful results, keep things under control, and have a nice looking lawn for as long as possible. I'm almost betting that if I just aerate and de-thatch a little bit here now using my garden fork and my rake, I could bring out a proper grooming tool and groom the entire yard if I felt like doing something like that. But just the fork and the rake is going to give me, I think, enough, or at least help the grass out just enough that I don't think I'm going to see this disease spread. I'm not going to put anything down in the background. I'll show you in the next videos how things transpire. Anyway, cheers.